Who says no? Kepa Arrizabalaga to Arsenal. Who says no? Personally, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with Kepa Arrizabalaga to Arsenal. I am not against the transfer of Kepa Arrizabalaga to Arsenal. I think it's a reasonable deal. We're gonna talk about it right now. But before we hit that like button, before we do anything, hit that subscribe button, and let's talk about the David Ornstein bomba. Let's talk about the Ornstein bomba that just dropped today, because I think we got ourselves a decent keeper for a really, really good price. And you can say it's copium, you can say whatever you want, but Kepa recently, for the last year, especially at Bournemouth, he was a really decent keeper. And I do think as a backup keeper, he's not going to be asked to do too much. But yeah, let's get into it. First things first. David Ornstein has reported that Arsenal are set to sign Kepa Arrizabalaga, former Chelsea goalkeeper. The deal in process of being finalized after the 30-year-old Spanish keeper agreed to join Arsenal and fight for his place. 5 million is the release clause, and Chelsea are going to just hold that. Chelsea are going to hold that money. They're going to take that 5 million. They're going to take it to the bank, and they're going to run with it. They think they got themselves an absolute bargain for that cut price. But in my opinion, it's a smart deal. And this guy here agrees also. Smart deal, 5 million, good experience, a good keeper. Overall, it's not that bad. Where Chelsea already spent, what, 70? How much did they spend on Kepa? How much did Chelsea spend on Kepa Arrizabalaga to begin with? How much did Chelsea spend on Kepa Arrizabalaga to begin with? If I'm not mistaken, Chelsea spent around 70-something million for Kepa in the first place. Chelsea spent ridiculous money to get Kepa through the door in the first place. So for Arsenal to now get Kepa Arrizabalaga, I don't think it is the worst transfer we could have done. I think Kepa is an experienced keeper. Kepa's now, I don't know how old, 30 years old actually. And for 5 million, I think is cheap. Or if Arsenal were to have spent the 20 million, it would have been a little bit of a different story. It would have been a little bit of a different story, because then we would be spending a lot of money for a backup keeper. But for 5 million for a backup keeper, I know he's from Chelsea and everyone hates signing Chelsea player, but it's not the end of the world. I think people need to stop hating, because I'm seeing Hussam saying it's a disgraceful signing. I'm seeing people talking about all these other things. Long story short, Arsenal fans, thoughts on the deal? Let me know right now. Arsenal fans, what's your thoughts? 5 million for Kepa. Is it a bad deal? Is it a good deal? Do you think it's? Do you think it makes sense? Do you think it's something we should hate on? He's also on 100K a week. He's not on ridiculous wages. Overall, I think it's a win-win for both parties. I think it's a win-win for both parties. I think Arsenal get a good keeper, and I think you look at it from the Chelsea perspective, they get their player paid off. They get the money for the player that they paid, not what they paid for, but they get good money for Kepa. Now, thoughts on Kepa to Arsenal? Good deal, bad deal? Let me know what you guys think. I think for 5 million, you can't say it's a bad deal. For 5 million, surely you cannot say it's a bad deal. People saying, Egal, you're not serious. I am dead serious when I say Kepa is not a bad signing. Kepa is a good signing. Like, what are we doing here? If I go to the Premier League last season and I just go through some of the stats for players last season, I can go to the goalkeeper stats and we can talk about them right here. So look at this. Goals conceded per 90. You can see that Kepa wasn't even in the top 10 for goals conceded. He was actually one of the better players at goals conceded. 1.3 goals conceded per game. I mean, per 90 last season. Then you also have a situation here where goals prevented. He's up there with some of the best keepers at goals prevented. He was 5th in goals prevented in the Premier League last season, shared with Alisson and Robert Sanchez at 5th. Just a little bit less than Raya, but obviously these teams are a little bit better, so it's going to be difficult in a Bournemouth team to prevent as many goals. What else is there? Then you have so we have goals prevented, goals where's the save percentage? Let me find save percentage per 90. Save percentage overall, you can see here that he was all the way down here in 8th. He was 8th in the Premier League with the highest save percentage. You go to save percentage per 90. That is a little bit different. Saves per 90. We've already spoken about this. He was all the way in 7th. I don't think he's the worst keeper. Like, honestly, I think people are kind of overdoing it with Kepa. I think people are kind of overdoing it with Kepa. And I even asked my people on Twitter what they think about the whole situation. And a lot of people are saying, yo, it's not that bad. Like, what are we doing? Egal, get me on. Let's talk on this Kepa. How do I send you the link? Let me know how I can send you the link, and I'll get you on. I just don't want to put the link in the chat for anybody to jump on, obviously. And let me just message me on Twitter or something. But yeah, let's go through some of the things I've been talking about on Twitter, because I do think this is a good grasp of what I was saying. So first things first, Kepa for 5 million, I think is a bargain. I really do think it's a bargain. But a lot of people are already getting on to me saying, what are you talking about? People are saying he's a poor keeper. Like, Mandem had Fraser Foster as their backup keeper, and they're telling me he's a poor keeper, which is nuts, in my opinion. People thinking I'm gaslighting. People are saying Arsenal are obsessed with buying players from Chelsea. Like, I get it. We've bought in a lot of players from Chelsea in the past. But to be fair, I don't think this is one where Chelsea fans can really talk shit to us in regards to a purchase. It's 5 million. It's not the worst deal on the planet. Also, Kepa Arrizabalaga for 5 million. I think it's actually a bargain, but most people are saying they don't want him because he's a Chelsea player. Some people saying they don't care because he's a backup keeper. Some people saying it's a bargain. But overall, the large majority are saying they don't want him because he's a Chelsea player. Just because he's a Chelsea player doesn't mean he's going to be a bad signing, right? Also, I would slap that money in Chelsea's face. I would literally just go slap that money on Chelsea's face, like slap that money on their face, because they talk too much shit. 5 million, take that 5 million. As for Chelsea, we talk about Arteta signing so many goalkeepers. Guys, Chelsea have signed 11 goalkeepers in the last 10 seasons, spending over 200 million, around 200 million euros. Around 200 million euros. That's how much money they've spent in the last 10 seasons. They've spent 200 million on goalkeepers. It comes out about, like, what is it? That's ridiculous. Like, we're looking at around, what is it? 10 divided. We're looking at 10 divided by 20. So that's around 20. So it's around 20 million per season that they're spending on goalkeepers. When you really look at it, it's not crazy, but they're spending a lot of money on keepers. They've gotten 1, 2, 3, Willy Caballero, Ederson, Rob Green, this Italian guy from Fulham. I'm not sure who some of these guys even are. Now, I know, who the hell is this guy from Genk? When did they sign him? That must have been a minute ago. They got Robert Sanchez. They got Eduardo Mendy. They got friggin' Philip Jorgensen recently for 24 million. Like, they're spending ridiculous money on goalkeepers. Just to put it in perspective, Arsenal on Raya, Ramsdale, Leno alone, we spent less than what we spent on Kepa. So I'm not really, like, losing my shit over these signings. These guys have spent ridiculous money, and I think when you look at it from that perspective, it's not the end of the world. Like, they signed the guy originally for 72 million pounds, and they're selling him to us for a total of, what is it? Look at that. 72 million pounds Chelsea bought him for, and they're selling him to us for 5 million. Leno, Matt Ryan, Raya, David Raya, Neto, Kepa, and Matt Turner all cost around similar amount of money. And that's all of the keepers that Arteta signed since he's been in charge, right? So it's not the end of the world. And plus, we got a goalkeeper unit now. I think David Raya and Kepa, we can rely on Kepa. As a backup keeper. He's not being asked to play every single game. Raya's still going to play the Champions League games. Raya's going to still play the Premier League games. Kepa's just going to play the cup games. And really and truly, it's better than playing a teenager who's never played football before. And it's also better than friggin' going and spending 25 million on another keeper. This allows us to save money. This allows us to save money on transfers. This allows us to then reinvest that money elsewhere. And I do think this is a good deal for Arsenal. And I do think the way I should break it down for you guys is very simple. We're going to sign Zubimendi for around 52 million. We're going to sign Kepa for around 5 million. So by this point, we've already spent a total of 57 million to start the window. 57 million on 2 players. We then are going to have to get either Sesko, Rodrigo, and some other players. And from there, we'll see how much money we're going to be spending overall. But at this moment in time, I am not against it. We've already gotten rid of Raheem Sterling. We've already gotten rid of Marquinhos. We've already gotten rid of Kieran Tierney, Nuno Tavares. Both Neto and Jorginho have left on free deals. Arsenal have been working on trying to lower the wage bill and to shift out players. Some of the players we want to sell are, of course, Zinchenko. We want to sell Lokonga. We're going to get Partey on a new deal or potentially get rid of him, whichever one it is. We'll figure it out. Nelson's potentially going to be leaving. I think Kivior is going to be staying. I think Trossard's going to be staying. And I think Vieira could be out the door. So we'll have to wait and see what happens there. But at this moment in time, this is what we've done so far. Kepa and Zubimendi, and we're going to need another defender potentially. And we're going to see if we get Sane, Rodrigo, and Sesko. I don't think we're going to get Sane. I think we are going to potentially go for Rodrigo and Sesko. We'll see if we end up getting them, but that's a conversation we can have right now. But yeah, that is the main story so far. I think Kepa's good business. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Is Kepa good business? Is he bad business? What do you guys think in the comment section? Let me know in the chat what you guys are saying at this moment in time. And yeah, there we go. So I've just opened my DMs. I don't know. Let me know what your account is, bro. I'm trying to find him if he's messaged me on Twitter or not. Has he messaged me? I don't see any message from you, bro. So just message me. Just message me. And let's go to the next thing. The next thing we need to talk about is some of the potential incoming players and what we could be doing. So yeah, there we go. Oh, wait, there's one more thing. Quickly. Just look at this quickly. So the report is that Kepa Arrizabalaga to Arsenal is advanced at this stage. David Ornstein, Gunner Blog. Kepa took a 50% wage cut to join AFC Bournemouth on loan, and Chelsea with an option extended by 1 year. But Arsenal have quickly moved to advance this deal. So there you go. He's taken a 50% wage cut to join Arsenal also. So that is 100 million a week. I mean 100K a week. It's not that bad. 100K a week is not that bad. Let me go on Instagram quickly. Let me go on Instagram quickly to see if you messaged me. You messaged me on Instagram. Okay, I'm gonna add you. I'm gonna add you in a second. But before we go any further, let's see what some of you guys in the chat are saying. What do you guys think about the deal? Kepa deal is a done deal. Yeah, Kepa deal is a done deal. Chelsea lost 70 million. Yeah, Chelsea lost 70 million. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Please do hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already done so, and leave a comment down below what you thought of that video you just watched.